This is Chapter 13, Entering Historical Data and Opening Balances. In this chapter, you will learn recording details of historical data in QuickBooks Online and recording a summary journal entry of historical data in QuickBooks. We have our luxury lodging company file open. The amount of historical data that you need to enter into QuickBooks will be determined by your start date. As discussed in the Setting Up a New Company File chapter, your start date is the date you begin entering transactions into QuickBooks. It's always best to start using QuickBooks at the beginning of a year, month, or quarter. This will allow you to easily identify a clear cutoff between transactions that took place before you began using QuickBooks. Regardless of when you start using QuickBooks to track your data, you will always need to bring over any existing balances for your balance sheet accounts. For certain accounts, like accounts payable and accounts receivable, we recommend you enter the details of all open invoices as opposed to just entering a balance. This will allow you to have all the details behind the open balances so that you can easily track payments received from customers and payments made to vendors after you start using QuickBooks. Individual transactions must be entered in the correct order to avoid any issues. The order to enter historical transactions is listed below. First, purchase orders, bill payments, credits from vendors, credit card charges, checks, and inventory on hand. Next, employee timesheets and billable hours. Then invoices, sales receipts, credit memos, and returns. Next would be customer payments and bank deposits, and then sales tax paid and payroll transactions. And then following all banking transactions, all credit card transactions, and then reconcile all bank accounts. And then finally, reconcile all credit card accounts. If an item is not applicable, just skip it and go to the next one. Ideally, you want to enter all historical transactions before you start entering any new transactions into QuickBooks. If you don't have the time to enter historical data individually, you can choose to record a summary journal entry. A summary journal entry will only include totals of the current balance in each account with no detail. You will need to refer to your existing system for the details since they will not be recorded in QuickBooks. For balance sheet accounts, you will need to run a balance sheet report for the end of the period prior to your start date. For example, if you start to use QuickBooks as of January 1st, you want to run your balance sheet report as of December 31st of the previous year. The balances on this report is what you will enter into QuickBooks. If your start date for QuickBooks is in the middle of a fiscal year, you will also need to enter the balances in the income and expense accounts. To obtain this info, you will need to run a profit and loss report as of the end of the period prior to your start date. For example, if your start date is June 1st, you will run the income statement as of May 31st. The totals on this report will be entered into QuickBooks using the journal entry form. So we're going to take a look at the journal entry form. If you go to your Create button, and then under the Other heading, you're going to go to Journal Entry. And this brings up your journal entry form. So there are 12 fields on the journal entry form. First, you have your journal date. Here you enter the effective date of the journal entry. For example, enter the last date of the fiscal period you are bringing data over for. Your journal number. The journal number is automatically assigned by QuickBooks. However, if you would like to start with a specific numbering sequence, such as 1000, you can enter that number in this field, and QuickBooks will automatically increment each journal number thereafter. Then you have the account. From the drop-down menu, select the accounts that require a debit, one account per line. After entering all of the debit accounts, you will enter the accounts that require a credit. Then your debits, enter all debit amounts in this field. Credits, enter all credit amounts in this field. Your description, provide a brief description of the journal entry that you are recording. The name, if bringing over an open accounts receivable balance, you would select the customer from the drop-down. If you have not added customers to QuickBooks, you will need to do so in order to record any AR balances. The property, you would select the property the balance is for, if applicable. Class, select the class the balance is for. Delete, you can click the trash can icon to delete a specific line item on the journal entry. And the memo field down in the bottom left. Provide a brief description of the purpose of the journal entry, for example, to record balance of account as of May 31st. And then your attachments. You can attach supporting documents such as the balance sheet and profit and loss reports from your old accounting system. This will make it easy for your accountant or an auditor to see the source of your data. We will not be inputting any journal entries. This was just to give you a look of how, just to let you see if you needed to see how to enter a journal entry. If you were starting a company with historical data, you could bring that over in one journal entry. So this particular chapter does not have any practice exercises. So your next video will be chapter 14, which is your final project.